Hello there and welcome to Schofield Studios. And today I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars The Force Awakens, the movie that starts the sequel trilogy. Tell me in the comments if you've seen the movie, and if so, did you like it? Now sit back, relax, and let's begin. I thought this was a very solid Star Wars movie. There's a lot of strengths when you put it in the, modern day technology and you have it owned by Disney. So it was a very entertaining Star Wars film and did a lot of stuff right. So let's go on to the good. And I think this is probably the most rewatchable of the Star Wars movies. I probably watched it 4 times this year, and it's only been 6 months yet in this year. So basically, I watched it 4 times in the last 6 months. So I did really like this movie. I think it's the most rewatchable of any of them. It doesn't have any slow moving parts. It keeps finding ways to entertain you, keeps going forward, and really is a very entertaining Star Wars movie. It also has great new characters, Rey, Poe, Finn. They're all very good. And then you have the returning characters, and they were very good too. And the actors are probably at their best acting them. For instance, this is probably Harrison Ford's best performance as Han Solo. He's as funny as he was in the original trilogy. Same thing goes with Leia, 3PO, and basically every returning character. They feel like themselves. They are very good. The acting is good, and probably the best acting we ever seen in a Star Wars movie. In the prequel trilogy, okay, don't get me started with that. Don't talk about the prequel trilogy in a happy video. But let's just say the acting in those movies are not good. Trust me, they're not good. And then you get to the original trilogy, and the acting is not great. But here, the acting is actually very good. They show emotion in their face. They actually seem like real people in obviously fictional world. And the best acting we ever seen from a Star Wars movie thus far. And of course, one of the best things about putting this movie in 2015 instead of 1980 is that the CGI, the special effects, they're actually good. There's not too much CGI like the prequel trilogy. There's not very bad CGI, again, like the prequel trilogy and sometimes in the original trilogy. They have 21st century special effects. It looks very good. The directing is actually very, very good. J.J. Abrams does know how to do these sci-fi blockbusters. And even though he's no Steven Spielberg in this work, he still is a very good director for Star Wars. There's some very great eye-stunning action. And then you get to the lightsaber fight. I thought it just looked very good. 21st century effects again, and that's basically the whole point about playing it in the 21st century. It looks more real instead of it looking like a CGI computer glitch like in a prequel trilogy. And also, John Williams does a very good job with his score, has very great music, some of the best scores of any Star Wars film John Williams has given us. There's a sense of victory in all of them. Is very good. And with that said, let's go on to the bad. And I thought this was actually the most basic Star Wars film. That's not a bad thing. It's the most simple of all the Star Wars movies. Also, the First Order, they don't explain where they came from. They're just like, oh, there's this new threat that came out of nowhere. That's it. There's no explanation. And also, a couple of the characters, like General Hutz, is very whiny. He's not in any way threatening, and it's just kind of annoying. And then you get to Captain Phasma, who's just there to look cool, then get killed off in the first 2 minutes. Barely gets any screen time. So yeah, they kind of waste the good characters that could have been good. And then they have these big characters be very whiny and just very annoying. But other than that's it for the bad. So let's go on to the final ranking. And I'm going to give this a 9.3 out of 10. Probably the most simple of any of the Star Wars movies. While still being a very good one, there's a lot of great stuff about it. Bringing it into the 21st century just makes it look more realistic, and they successfully bring back a 20-year-old franchise from the dead and do a very good job at that. They do a good job, but in the same way, it's still very simple. Some of the characters can rather be annoying or just not have that much screen time, and they don't explain some plot lines. Other than that, I think it's the most entertaining and most rewatchable of any Star Wars movie. Well, not really the most entertaining, kind of like in the same level as other Star Wars movies, but when it goes to the rewatchable and just great special effects and great acting, this movie comes out on top. I bet The Last Jedi is gonna have the same, but still, I like this movie. I think you should give it a watch. And thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and click the bell if you want to see more from me. Tell me in the comments any movies you want me to review in the future. This has been Schofield Studios, where you're the audience, and cut.